Alright, welcome to my backyard. Small portion of it. This is the Bark River, Bravo 1. Here's the use of my lanyard. And it gives me the ability to let the knife go at the same time. It's not going to get me. It's not going to poke me, cut me if it happens to fly loose when I'm batoning. Did some batoning with it so far. Smaller pieces of wood, it handles very nicely. Gives you access to the insides of these nice sized branches that I found. Now, it's been raining. If you're not splitting wood, you ain't gonna have a fire. And it does pretty good. As thick as this blade is, it does, because of the convex grind, it really does, you have a lot of control of the knife, and you can really get some nice kindling going for your fire. Oops, my bad. Let's turn that bad boy over. Does a really nice job. Now, here's another small piece. Alright, but this ain't a camp knife. This is a survival knife. Camp knife would be more like the Bravo 2, for instance. And that would have the ability to split larger logs, which this one, due to the fact of its shorter length, does not have the ability to do. Or it makes it extremely difficult to do. This blade is only 4 1/4 inches long. You do have the ability to do detailed work. I mean, I can clean out the underside of my fingernails if I need to with this knife. But if I'm looking at a log this size, it's kind of difficult. You could whittle away at it and possibly slowly break into this log. But due to its size, you can see that you just don't have the blade length that you would need in camp that the Bravo 2 would allow you. Now, if I was in camp, I'd probably have myself a hatchet or a saw or whatnot. If I had a saw, I could saw through the center of this and then break up my kindling as I see fit. But I can still, in an emergency situation, as difficult as it is, and it tears up your baton big time, you can get in here. But it's very, very time consuming. It's something I really don't want to do. Especially when I'm cold and I need myself a fire. But the knife is very, very strong. So, but the idea of making a fire, though, is not splitting gigantic logs. Once I get these logs going, or the fire going, logs of that size, I can get it going with some smaller kindling. And depending where you're at, whether you're picking squaw wood, which is off the top of the bottom portions of the pine trees, or if you're picking smaller branches off the ground here, that's the idea of getting your fire going. It splits very nicely, though. Very nicely. That's wood's wet as hell. Everything's wet. That's something from my old fire. Here's a good 3 1/2 inch log. And you have the ability to split this thing up real nice. Another thing I did, and this is slightly wet. Making a shelter, batoning through wood, this knife really handles well. These are clean cuts. You don't see that very often, especially with your normal survival blades with your dual bevels. This thing just slices right through it, and I could demonstrate that right quick. Place that on there. And this wood's green, and it just sliced right through it. That's pretty nice. I'm pretty impressed with that. The thumb ramp, I like it so far. Like I said, I usually wear gloves. Even if I'm not wearing gloves, it gives me that grippiness. Even if I'm choking up on my knife, I can see how that could bother me. But for notching and for other use, it feels really nice, actually. But this bad boy, he's tough. I don't foresee myself really hurting it. And you can notch yourself. Now, if you wanted to, you could break open these logs by coming out through the side and doing it that way. Also, now what that will do is that'll give you the ability to get your knife the span that you need, so you'll still have something sticking out, and also breaking into the side. But like I said, you need a larger knife to do most of that work. That's about it. Great knife. I'm loving it. And look, it's not broken. Can't believe it. I guess that's what a survival knife should be able to do, right?